Keith Lee, who is a food critic.
Never heard of him until today.
I know. I heard of him. He's
wow.
He's big on like Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that.
Okay. He has a lot of followers.
Yeah. How many of y'all know who Keith Lee is? A lot of people know who he is.
If he got a lot of followers,
yeah,
he can make things very scary.
Well, that's what this is. Scary. It's Halloween. Ooh,
scary.
So Emerald says, "Hey, ladies."
Hey.
Patricia Brown says, "Hi, ladies." Emerald says,
Hello,
"It's been
everyone.
cold.
Hello.
It's been cold and rainy here. Our official rainy season has begun." Yeah, it snowed here in the morning, which was weird. But
we're getting ready to go in November, so it's...
No, but then the next week it'll be hot or something. That's weird. We have the weirdest weather.
We'll see.
So anyway, TikTok food critic Keith Lee spurs responses from Atlanta restaurants. When he came to town, see, that's what you said. These food critics
from that area.
When he came to town, they can make or break you.
Oh.
If it's a food critic and this guy, the reason why a lot of people like him, I watched him, start looking up his name, y'all, on like in TikTok and Instagram and stuff. Keith Lee. He's a cool dude. He's very down to earth, very family oriented. And I think he's a Christian. He comes off as somebody that's a Christian. And he's honest. A lot of these food critics, I don't trust them.
Is he a cook himself? Is he a...
I don't know. I know he just goes places and he'll eat.
And he just started his show doing that.
He's a food critic.
Wow.
But he's honest. When he tell you something, you like how we kind of do. We like, if we go somewhere and we eat something, if it's not good, I'm not going to say it's good.
And we may say it's got a little too much of something or it's just like... But then I'm not a good person as a food critic because you got to like food.
And you also got to not worry about hurting people's feelings.
I mean, y'all look at me like, yeah, I do like food, but some people they eat anything. They don't go asparagus, liver.
They'll eat okra.
They'll eat every vegetable.
Yeah, that's why we couldn't be food critics.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy, he sparks a lot of controversy when he went to Atlanta. Okay. It says Atlanta's food scene has been under a microscope since the viral food critic came to town with bad reviews. And now some of these places are promising change. Keith Lee, who has a massive TikTok following and whose food reviews have turned small, unseen businesses into out-of-the-town favorites, brought his talents to Atlanta last week and had a lot to say. This guy is the type of guy, he also likes going to places that
nobody has heard of.
Nobody really has heard of. Little, small. And a lot of places he goes to are places no one would go to because they don't know how to advertise, but the food is the best in that city.
Okay.
So he's good at that.
Wow. So
he's good at putting people on the map.
So it's good to follow him if, for example, we're going to a city or state.
See if he's
gone to those places and says 4 stars, 5 stars, whatever.
And the food is excellent, but they don't have the people who run it. They don't have a business mind to know how to get their business out there. So he'll show up and eat and say 4 or 5 stars, and all of a sudden these people got huge businesses after that
because of him following him.
Or he'll come and say the opposite, and their businesses will close down.
Wow.
So it said he did a number of video reviews, and a good handful of them actually ended up being retrospectives into how difficult it turned out to be to order takeout at a bunch of well-known popular establishments. His stops included The Real Milk and Honey, this is Atlanta, and Candace Burr's, Candy.
Ooh.
The Atlanta Housewives, old lady gang restaurant.
His aunt, her aunts.
Her mom and her
sisters.
Both experiences, he says, left him without food. Apparently, there are a ton of rules Keith says he and his family had to go through to even place an order and be seated. Stemming from what he characterizes as bad customer service, and since calling these places out, a lot of folks have chimed in and agree with him.
Thank you.
In the aftermath of these reviews and amid all the discourse that followed, there seems to be a consensus. It's kind of difficult to dine in Atlanta, and for no real good reason. either. Candy addressed part of Keith's critic. See, he's big enough for her to come and say something. The fact he and his crew couldn't easily order takeout, and said her restaurant puts the focus and resources on those who eat in. I told you that. That makes me so mad.
Oh, when we do our food
when we go and we pick up for Uber Eats, I cannot stand when restaurants cater to drive-through people and people who eat in.
Because think about it. People who eat in, they are receiving the service to give the tips.
Yes.
So you want
that's why they cater to them. That's why they cater to
for
them.
Tipping.
However, she didn't address his claim. He was only offered a table because of his name. They probably recognized him.
That's not good.
See? And I think that's the other thing I noticed with him too on his latest ones. He don't like now he kind of famous. It's messing up.
Then you don't need to let nobody know you coming.
No. Even if they know he's coming, they didn't know he was coming, but you see him. You're going to probably do the best for him, give him the best and all of that.
Now you got to wear a hat or something.
I think he needs to start sending somebody else in to get the food and bring it out to him. Oh. He's too famous. He's getting too famous now.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So it says, in any case, Candy welcomes him back and hopes she and the old lady gang team can get another shot. The folks who own the Real Milk and Honey, which is a franchise restaurant, took a slightly different approach, but ultimately landed with a bit of clarification and apology. Okay. After one of the places reported they torched Keith on a local radio station. In trying to defend his restaurant, he went after, I guess, Keith. The restaurant itself issued a lengthy statement. So they went against what one of the managers, I said, went. He went on the radio station trying to make up for it. And then the chain, we got to go. Why don't you go get that on my phone? And I'll keep going. Just call her back and see what's going on. Let's see. Restaurant itself issued a lengthy statement Tuesday, seemingly admitting to being in the wrong. The corporate account says they've done some soul searching over the course of this week. Long saga, and now the Real Milk and Honey is vowing to tweak how they operate. That's what I'm saying, y'all. You cannot just have anything and not understand that you don't just treat a critic right. You treat everybody right. And I hate when we go in. That's what I was telling my sister the other day. When we go into these places for Uber Eats and they make you wait when you come pick up an order and they cater to all the people that are sitting there eating. That drives me up the wall. So, all right. So I was just saying, I was telling her that. And I wanted to lead off this story with Keith because I feel like you should treat everybody right regardless of who they are, whether they're a critic or whether it's just somebody that's just coming in off the street. All right.